The ultimate aim of the innocent archetype is to return back to the Garden of Eden. Before his or her journey, the innocent lives in an unfallen world where life is sweet and all our needs are met in an atmosphere of care and love. The closest ordinary equivalents to this experience occur in early childhood or later in the first stages of romance or in mystic experiences. Before the journey, innocence is experienced in a childlike way, which means that it involves a good bit of unconscious or even conscious dependence. It is appropriate for infants and children simply to assume that others will take care of them. Even as an adult, the innocent who has not experienced the fall takes the earth and its resources for granted and imagines God as an all-powerful father or mother whose purpose is to keep one safe. Such innocence is a natural state for infants and small children, and throughout life, a part of the self needs to hold on to the experience of being totally safe, totally cared for, and totally loved. Many people believe they can retain this kind of innocence by following all the rules set by parents, religious authorities, teachers, and bosses about what they should be. Ironically, the very attempt to hold on to innocence ultimately subverts it. Some people become bitter when they try so hard, and then others who break all the rules make money or receive more attention. If we do take our journeys, however, there will be times when we return to Eden. In those precious moments when we are in the presence of a new friend or new love, when life glitters with possibilities, or when we are filled with awe at the beauty of a pristine lake, a towering mountain, or a lovely rose. We also may re-experience what it is like for a small child to feel safe and cared for with a friend or loved one in a therapeutic or workshop environment, or in those spiritual moments when it seems as though we are being held in the hands of a benevolent God. Growing up, however, requires us to know life in a more fallen world where many others do not care about our welfare, where even our friends and lovers can betray us or let us down, where predatory people attempt to take advantage of us, where we can be seriously hurt and damaged, and where God sometimes feels very far away or non-existent. Yet despite all this, something in each of us rejects the persistent message that it is a tough world. Part of us still continues to search for more utopian possibilities. The promise of a return to the mythic Edenic state is one of the most powerful forces in human life, and the only way to reach it is to take our journeys. The child in us imagines paradise as the place where all our narcissistic needs are satisfied. Growing up requires us to let go of this fantasy so that we can do the hard work of gaining competence in both the inner and outer worlds. The reward at journey's end is the experience of entering the promised land. However, this does not mean that we get all the toys we ever wanted. Rather, it is a state of consciousness that requires a deep acknowledgement of and reverence for ourselves and others. This return heals the wounded inner child and frees us from a victim mentality. Virtually every religion in the world has a way of describing a state of oneness with the divine. Buddhists call this nirvana, Christians call it conversion, Hindus call it moksha. In the Camelot stories, the knights and ladies do not search for the Holy Grail because of its material value. Rather, they undertake the quest because an encounter with the Grail entails a visionary moment that radically changes the lives of those who experience it. Lancelot is so overcome at finding it that he goes into a coma for an entire day. In his book The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho tells the story of Santiago, who discovers a treasure chest of Spanish gold coins hidden in the roots of a sycamore tree. The tree is growing in the ruins of a church where his own journey had begun. Santiago wonders, since he found the treasure in his own backyard, why the journey was necessary. Then he realizes that his pilgrimage, which took him to the pyramids, itself was the treasure. While the coins make him wealthy, it is not the money that makes him happy. The journey had filled his life with joy. In fact, he finds the money only after he has attained happiness. Stories of spiritual heroes help us find that pristine place from which all invention and creativity and life come. In this stillness, we can experience the God within ourselves. This time, however, we encounter the sacred not as children looking up to a parental figure, but as adults, realizing that we are indeed part of the divine. When we are orphans, we do not identify with creators. We may see God as a creator, but way above us and distant. We may imagine especially talented people as creative, but we do not regard ourselves as participants in the creative process. Indeed, we may see ourselves as being at the mercy of fate or of people with power. As wanderers, we flee to save ourselves from those who would define our fate, and as warriors, we fight to protect our boundaries against them. As altruists, we participate in the cosmic process of destruction and creation by allowing ourselves to be sacrificed if necessary to ensure rebirth. Only when we have gone through all of these stages can the innocent re-emerge with the assurance that we are co-creators of our lives. When this happens, we are ready for the return from the journey. We are finally ready to re-enter the Garden of Eden.